So welcome back to the channel and welcome to one of my favorite locations in the Netherlands, National Park Veluwezoom. It's called, this area is called the Postbank. And I actually have to say it used to be one of my favorite areas. It still is nature-wise, you know, it's fantastic. But as a photographer, they made it damn difficult to get here. You know, all the roads are closed, all the parking lots are closed, except for this one. You can't come here before sunrise or after sunset, you will get a fine. So it's a huge area, but to get to this point at sunrise, it's almost impossible. So while I was driving here, there was a huge pink glow in the sky that I just couldn't photograph because I couldn't enter this area before sunrise. And as you can see behind me now, it's just a massive overcast day. There is some haze and fog also here behind me, but it's all a bit grim. So, but why do I still get to this location? First of all, these are some of my favorite forests, especially in autumn. So you can see that the colors are turning a little bit here to the side. And I hoped for some mushrooms to photograph those. And I got a tip from someone that there was an owl here sitting in the same tree for a while. So I was hoping to walk past that, see if I could catch that. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna happen much regarding the sunrise. There still is a bit of color here above me. And right in that gap, I don't know if you can see it in the background, that's where the sun is going to rise. So if the sun is coming through there, we might have some phenomenal light, but not quite sure, not quite sure. So let's just see what we can get and make the best of it. So I just took a quick shot. The pink light appeared again for a second, so I don't think it actually worked. If it did, I'll show you after this clip. But there's something else going on that I quite like. Don't think the composition is that strong actually, but I think it's worth showing to you at the moment. So if you look behind me, and I hope you can see it, that right over here, there is one small open spot in the sky with some beautiful orange colors in it. And on the back of the camera, it looks like this. Let me try to show you. Well, at least I got a couple of trees here in my foreground. Then you got these rolling hills over there, a couple of clouds with that orange spot in the top here. And I'm actually using it with the live G&D filter to make this top section just a little bit darker than it is. So another reason why I'm out here today is actually because I want to test some new filters. I don't use much filters, as you know, usually only ND filters or in this case polarization filters. And as you might know if you watch this channel regularly, I'll show you a little clip. I got a new polarization filter, CPL, about half a year ago, and on my first trip I dropped it and it broke. So that was really, really unfortunate, and it took me a time before I realized what do I want to buy, what do I want to have. And eventually I ended up with two new CPL filters from KASE. And the one that I just screwed on the camera, and let's have a look here, is the KASE 77mm 3rd generation. So it's actually a brand new filter, and it's supposed to have no flare at all. So why two filters? I wanted one for a magnetic one for sure, that I would really like, so I could stack multiple filters really fast. And I wanted one that would fit on, let's have a look, the big white one here. So I have this KW Revolution from KASE. It's a 95mm CPL. That's fitting on the white one. I got some adapters so I can use this on all my lenses. But I also wanted one for this 40-150, one of my most used lenses, that I can just screw on and leave on the camera. So that's what I just attached to the camera right now. And I have to say, my first impression is that at least I don't see any real color difference. No color casting or all that stuff. It just looks really nice. So I'm gonna take this shot again with the CPL on, and let's see if it makes any difference. But at least it just looks really nice. Sometimes I used to use these polarizers or other filters that were really cheap, and when you got them out of the box you were like, is this like plastic or a toy? But this just feels really rugged, really well made, and the glass just looks really nice. So I'm looking forward to try that in the forest here. It's a bit wet, so I couldn't think of a better day to try these CPLs. So yeah, let's hope this stuff is gonna work, and especially the big one here, the KW Revolution. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use this today, because I'm probably most gonna use this lens, but I'm happy to have some new polarizers. So yeah, let's get on and let's show you the shot again with the polarizer. So just a little complaining and whining from me, you know. Can you hear that sound in the background? No. A couple of weeks ago someone was commenting underneath my video that I shouldn't walk where I wasn't supposed to walk when I walked 1 meter off the path, blah blah. Of course I know that, but you know, I've been giving fines in the past for disturbing the peace in nature reserves. But there's someone from forest maintenance with a blower blowing the leaves off a path in the forest. Well, what the F? What use is that? There's absolutely no use for that. It's so stupid. I just hear that sound. You can hear it for miles and miles here in this forest. So don't ever give me a fine again for disturbing the peace if you think this is forest maintenance. Absolute crazy. So I kind of find a nice composition over here. There's a nice bridge in the water. The guy with the blower is still busy up there. I don't know if you can hear it, but absolute ridiculous, you know, absolutely ridiculous. So they're doing all this stuff to keep cars out and to give nature peace and quiet, and then you do this, you know. I'm blown away, you know. I'm blown away, literally. So, well, let me show you this composition because I rather like it actually. So you can see this is the shot. There's a little stream of water here and a path leading towards a small bridge coming from this side. But the only thing I don't like, and I'll turn down the exposure a little bit, there's a very bright spot here in the top of this forest. So I don't really like that. So do you see him in the background with the blower? No. Who does that? Who does that? Absolute crazy. I'm speechless. I'm totally speechless here. But about the composition, I'm gonna try to put the polarizer on again and to get a little bit more of those vibrant green colors here. There's not much turning to autumn yet. The nights haven't been too cold yet. Usually they start turning when it's getting around the freezing point here. But it is a rather nice composition and I love those green colors in this image. So I'm gonna put on the polarizer and gonna see if that makes any effect on this image. So I just attached the polarizer, the third generation case of 77mm right now. And it actually kind of looks ridiculous, look at this. But I just bought some really cheap adapters and maybe I should invest in that stuff, because I just screwed it on the adapter from 72 to 77 for my 40 to 150, but it's stuck now. I can't release it anymore, at least not with my cold hands, maybe when I'm back at home. So now I have an adapter from 62 to 72, 72 to 77, and then the polarization filter. Yeah, I think it's no problem, but it seems kind of stupid. So I need to invest in some better adapters that don't grip too tight, you know. I just can't release it right now. But it's not a problem. I have all this stuff to adapt it. But I just want to show you the effect of this filter, and it just looks really nice. And if I start to turn, just have a look here. And especially here in the bottom, if you look here between those leaves, you see all this glare here on the path. Well, if I start turning, you can see that all that glare disappears and all these vibrant colors appear. And also up here in those greens, it just does a really, really nice job in polarizing this scene. So I think I will leave it somewhere right here. I think that looks nice. So I'm gonna take the shot again, probably with a 10-second timer. Let's have a look. Put it on 10 seconds. Image stabilization off. And I might crop it back to a 16:9 to get rid of that white spot on top there. So you can hardly see it, but I'm right now at the spot where I got the tip for the owl, and you can almost can't see it. It took me a while before I saw it, but if you look at this tree right over here, this one, then all the way up there are two holes in the tree. It's about there. I think it's home. I think it's home. I think it's sitting there, but it's hard to see with my own eyes if it's just the tree trunk or if it is the owl. No idea. So I'm gonna put on big white and zoom in a little and see if it is what I've been looking for. Yes. I've positioned it like this, but I'm making a little movie clip here so you can see what I'm looking at the moment. So it's a little forest owl, and I've been looking for these for a long time, and finally I found one. So I'm really happy with that. So thank you for the tip, you know, amazing. And it appears to be sleeping. I'll put on the teleconverter here. I can't zoom in much more than this, but look at it, that it's so well camouflaged, absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna try to take some photographs from this spot, then I'm gonna see if I can find a little bit of a better composition on it. Hopefully it will open its eyes at some point. I'm not gonna wake it up or anything, but if it opens its eyes, I wanna be here, take a nice shot while it's looking at me or looking somewhere else, I don't care. But yeah, beautiful animal. I just love owls, you know. I had a couple of long-eared owls in my backyard over 3 years, but yeah, they seem to have moved out after I built a sort of a roofed sitting area a terrace in my garden. So yeah, I scared them away probably, I have no idea. But I just love them. I absolutely love owls. If there's one bird that I love most, it's owls. They just have something magical to them. So gotta take some images here, and this is the first shot. So I found a new position here for the owl, and I'm gonna try to show you in movie mode, but the nice thing is right now that you can see behind me, the sun is starting to come out, illuminating all those leaves there behind it, so it looks really, really nice. And I use the magnification function in the camera to just put the focus pin sharp on the owl. It just looks incredible, and right now I'm trying to shoot a high-res image of this owl. So I'm going to see if that works. If that is going to be sharp, I'm going to be really happy. So let's have a look. I just shot it. And it's pin sharp to the last feather. You know, absolutely what an animal. But let me show you this composition, because I rather like this above the last composition that you've seen. And you can see right now, I'll push the record button, that if I zoom out just a little bit, you can see that there's leaves on the left and the right, but not as much of those white spots that you've seen in that first image. So it's just a little bit of a different angle, and you can look into that hole where the owl is sitting. So I'm actually quite pleased with this shot. So yeah, let me show you this one, and yeah, really like it. So you're probably not going to believe this, but I am just so busy with this owl that I just didn't notice that I was only zooming in halfway with my 150 to 400 here. I just zoomed into just before 400 millimeters, and I can just make a really nice composition here. And yeah, let me try to show you on the back of the camera. You know, I can really isolate this. You see, this is 1-on-1, you know, it's only the hole on the left, those greens, and then this owl sitting on the bottom. Absolutely amazing. So this is actually why I needed the KASE KWF revolutionary magnetic filters. You can see I have just attached the 95mm to it, and I can just make those colors on the owl and on the background pop just a little bit more. You know, it's fantastic. And what I'm looking at, I'm not losing any detail, just a little bit of light. But I'm also losing a little bit of light because it's getting quite dark. There's some rain predicted later on this morning. So I'm actually considering to just take one last shot here. It's opened its eyes for a second here. So hopefully this is working. But I'm already really happy with those shots. Absolutely ridiculously good. And with the 150 to 400, I can just really zoom into that owl. And you can see that there's even some mosses stuck in his feathers around his eyes. You know, magnificent. Absolutely beautiful. How well camouflaged nature can be. You know, I love it. Absolutely love it. So this was the last shot. I'm gonna walk a little bit further, see if I can find some more. and but this morning already can't get any worse than this. So this is the last shot. So back in the studio here with the two polarizers that you've just seen in action in this video. And I'm actually very keen of these two polarizers. You know, I've used polarizers in the past of the cheapest brands and even some affordable quality brands. At least I thought they were quality brands, but most of them have the same problems, that the colors really change into the negative, if you ask me, when using a polarizer. With these filters, I actually didn't notice any color changing in the negative way due to the rotating, and also the amount of flare. You know, I shot a couple of images straight into the sun. After this video, I also recorded a video in Belgium, which I'm going to release in a couple of weeks. Those images, I almost with all those images I use these two polarizers, and the results are just amazing. You know, the colors are just really fine, not exploding like some polarizers do, but a real fine adjustment of the polarizing layer. So the ones that I used were this is the KW Revolution Magnetic, and this is a brand new one. This is the CPL3 that KASE just released. Why two? I wanted one for the big lens, the big wide, that I could use for any given condition, and this one is magnetic, and that's really fine. But I also wanted one that I could just stick onto a lens and leave it there and don't have to worry about it being magnetic or anything. So that's why I bought this 77mm CPL3. This is a screw-on filter, so I'm using it with a small, yeah, I don't know how you call it, but it changes size. So I have a big filter, 77, which suits my 40 to 150 2.8, 100 to 400, and it even suits my 300mm f4. And with those adapter rings, I can actually use this on any lens that I have in my bag. So yeah, I'm just really happy and comfortable in using these two polarizers. So yeah, my final conclusion, yeah, this is the first time that I'm using KASE polarizers. I used a couple of different brands in the past, but until now, these have given me by far the most satisfying result that I could want from a polarizer. So yeah, absolutely enjoyed using these ones. So that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the owl shot. You know, that was on my bucket list for a long time. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget, please push the thumbs up button, and there is a subscribe button underneath this video. I make weekly new videos on location, testing stuff, most of the time about landscape photography, which you've seen in this video a couple of times, but also birds, animals come by. Sometimes I do a review or test some products, but not too much. For me, it's all about landscape on location. That's what I'm most interested in. So if you like it, don't forget, push that button, and there's also a buy me a coffee link up here, and I hope to see you on the next video. See you then. Bye bye.